Play. Hi, Greta.
Hi.
That's a little better. Move the camera up a little bit more. Okay, Rhea's sitting down. So now I have four board members.
Usually we put a book under it.
No, it's on the table. There's not. We can,
Lindsay put the book under it.
if someone wants to put a book under it, we can do that. I don't know. I just need an agenda.
Oh, you good?
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.
Does everyone have everything on
I need an agenda.
the Yes, or there's extras here to pass down. Okay, let's go ahead, and I'd like to call this meeting to order at 5:35 PM. We have Evelyn, Marie, Samantha, Anthony, and Ashley, who I just wanted to call Lindsay. I'm so sorry.
What they call yours? Today.
It's mom brain, you know. I don't know who these people are. And then we have Freda joining as public. Do we have, can someone click the yeah, if you hover and then participants, I just want to make sure that we can see anyone that comes in.
There's supposed to be two people you have as participants.
We got that. Thank you. Okay, so thank you.
Oh, we just had one now?
Yeah, right now just Freda.
Okay, first order of business, do we have any public comment? Freda, you're here. I'll give you that in just 1 minute. No public otherwise? Okay, Freda, you are up, Friends of the Troy Public Library. Do you mind giving us an update?
First of all, a week ago Saturday, the Friends had an annual meeting that went really well. I was pleased that Evelyn and Maria chose to join us. They're members of the Friends. And this was an
I do want to
opportunity.
point out, I chose, and then unfortunately I forgot in the moment, and I am so sorry.
Yeah, and I re-upped the
Same.
membership, Greta.
It was awful. I
Well, you
remembered, and
you missed a
so
really
sorry.
good meeting. Well, you can find out from Marie and from Evelyn what they thought of the meeting. So about
We
20
really-
people showed up, and the idea was to get, to uh, give people who are card-carrying friends the opportunity to find out what we've been doing and where the money that we raise goes and any new developments. So that was essentially the gist of the meeting, and it was it couldn't be at a worse time. It was like 11:30 to 1 on a Saturday afternoon. Why you would come to a meeting on a Saturday afternoon from 11:30 to 1. The library was available, and we felt like we needed to do it. And we were real pleased that people did, in fact, show up and that it went well. The second item on the agenda is yesterday, the annual appeal hit people's mailboxes, and which is feels really, really good. Um, uh, I thank you, those of you who weighed in to do some editing of what the letter said. And we've already had 8 people contribute money to us online, and one person slipped a check in my mailbox. And so that's going, we're uh, very pleased. So Carolyn Fagan and I worked on the letter essentially, and we're very pleased with how it turned out and the input that we got from some of you guys and the rest of our board. Any questions about the annual appeal?
No, thank you for putting it together. Thank you for getting it out. No,
And the last item on the agenda, which has had nothing to do with the Friends of the Library and nothing to do with the library, but I would like to extend an invitation to you all because I am having a sculpture show and garden party at my house starting Thursday at 3 o'clock. It will run 3 to 6 on Thursday, 3 to 6 on Friday, and something like 11 to 5 on Saturday and sometime on Sunday. If you don't know how to find me, you can always email me at freda.merzon@gmail. You can see information about the show on my Facebook page, and it would be very nice if you all would come. I haven't done it in 3 years, and it's really an opportunity for people from various walks of life, because of the kinds of things I get involved in, to meet each other in a nice setting. The not so good news is that it's supposed to rain, and so it is rain or shine.
Thank you for the invitation. I do want to note that we are looking to have the interim director interview in person scheduled for Friday at 4 p.m. and then Monday at 9 a.m. So we're trying to coordinate that schedule. And my question is,
No
it would be,
Friday.
yeah, it would be important for
Friday
we're
at
gonna
4 p.m., you said, and
or Monday at 9 a.m. That
and
said, I
wait just a
still
sec.
have to,
Yeah.
well, I would say put those as very loose dates and times, because what we need to do is still coordinate across staff, department heads, the friends, and the board. So for the moment, that's what we were thinking, but I think we already know you're going to have a conflict, and that means other friends will probably have a conflict. And I would like to try to find a better date that works for everybody. We do have one candidate that would like to come up and not just be here for the interview, but spend a little more time, which we love. So we might need to find a date next week instead and push it out a little bit. So just wanted to kind of note that. I think we're going to end up having to reschedule with them.
So you have how many candidates?
I think we're going to be down to 2, but we have to
Okay.
discuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I did already is I asked my board who would be interested in participating. So I already know that. So once um, you know, fix on the schedule, I can go back to the uh, the board of the friends. And most people said that they wanted to participate, but everybody said it depended on the time and place and stuff like that. So once you know that, once you know that, I can send out notices. And if you decide to do it on Friday, you don't need to. I'm the only one for sure that won't be there, but you don't need to restrict it, because people can come other times to my show. And they're more likely to come Thursday than they are to come Friday.
Right. Have to compete against each other to get some cool art. All right. I appreciate it. I'll throw some elbows. No, I already own a Freda Merzon original, so I do want to point that out. It's lovely.
She's prejudiced. And she has something that is totally atypical, because when I do typically is I am a sculptor, and I make things out of found metal stuff.
Very cool. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Let's move on to the consent agenda. I'm feeling a little rough about this one. I'm going to be honest on my side. So if we approve these, I do feel like I should probably abstain from approving them, because I need to review them. I've not had the time to get through these minutes this week. So I would like to do that, but I don't feel personally comfortable approving them as final. That's just me. Where's everybody else at?
I think that there's one that we want to approve with modifications.
Yes, yeah,
Oh, did you share with me? It was fixed already.
yeah, I made it into the packet.
Okay.
Yeah, but I changed it and it was already uploaded and made it to the packet, so we're good. And, for anyone who decides to listen, it was just an error. I didn't finish the sentence. Someone probably walked into my office. Who knows what happened?
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to accept the consent agenda, including the board and committee minutes for the special board meeting on May 4th, the finance meeting on May 11th, the board meeting on May 12th, the special board meeting on May 15th, the policy and governance committee on May 19th, the facilities and physical infrastructure committee on May 27th, the special board meeting on June 1st, and the special finance meeting June 1st. I don't believe we have minutes in for any of the 3 board meetings we had yesterday yet. Okay, I will continue to read this so we can acknowledge the amount of work that we are doing.
The amount of meetings there is.
Yes, and all of the agendas and preparation and communication that each requires. Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna abstain. Okay. And I'm sorry to do it like that. I just don't think it's fair. I don't think I should do that until I've had a chance to read them. Okay, let's go to the next agenda item. Finance, Marie, do you mind sharing treasurer's report and your motions?
Okay, I was just planning to do the motions that we had. I don't remember whether we mentioned it here, but we need to accept the donations that are made. So the Friends of the Troy Library made donations this past month in May. It consisted of $262.26 for donations for support of the union negotiations in the way of food to allow them to work very hard. And the remainder of the $2,248.77 that the Friends donated was for the purchase of equipment. So I move that we accept the donation in the amount of $2,248.70 and allocate $262.26 to staff development and the remainder for purchase of equipment. Is there a second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. The second was the other donations. Again, we allocated a portion of those to one thing and the other portion to the remainder. So a donation of $100 or more that was received, actually it was for $250, was designated to go for capital improvements. Was felt that that might be something the individual who didn't specify what they wanted to use for would like. So 250 was allocated to that, and the remainder was allocated to healthcare costs, in which we're over budget. So I move that we approve allocation of other donations in the amount of $250 to capital improvements and the remainder for healthcare insurance. Is there a second?
Second.
Anthony seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. The third motion is that we want to approve the bills in the amount of $77,880.51. This is a little different from what we approved during the finance committee meeting because an error was found. A small error was found, so it's being corrected. So
Can I just ask really quick what the error was?
just the entry of wrong numbers.
Oh.
Just a clerical kind of error.
Yeah.
It was less than $10, right?
Well, it was, looks like about close to 200 from what I had from the previous.
Did you talk to
Mhm.
from yesterday's?
From yesterday, I had it $78,056.47. So this is about $200, close to $200 less. So you're welcome to check, but that's what Lindsay gave me.
Okay, did she explain what happened?
It was a change in the Amazon bill.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I think she had mentioned that that might change, if I remember correctly. Or maybe, was it the credit card bill?
No,
Oh, okay.
Is it like the Prime membership? So that's a couple $100.
I don't.
Let me ask her.
Bless you.
Excuse me. I don't remember. I could run and look, but
Can we revisit that?
mhm.
I'm gonna just poke her, make sure that we all understand what we're voting on and why. There we go.
Okay, another thing that we did, we had the special finance committee meeting. And that was to look at the budget and how we might revise that for some of the line items that we were exceeding budget, meaning the legal and the HR. So we made the decision in finance that it should come from the category that was added last year of hardware, data center, and something else that I'm not remembering, but there were 3 items that went into that. Do you remember what the third was? Networking was the third one. So that the amount that was added to the budget that hadn't been in the budget previously was $46,000. We haven't expended any of that this year, 5 months into the budget. So it was recommended that we use that money toward the professional services that we expected to be so much over this year. And that be split evenly between the 2 lines. So I move that we approve the reallocation of $46,000 from the category of hardware, networking, and data center to the professional services, split evenly between legal and HR services. So that would be $23,000 each. Is there a second? Ashley, Ashley seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
I have feedback on the expenditure or expended expenses. She said, the Amazon invoice was accidentally entered twice and corrected.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it looked like the same amount was there twice.
Okay.
Um,
Good.
So I move that we approve bills in the amount of $77,880.51. Is there a second?
Second.
Anthony seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. The other thing I wanted to mention is that we did reinvest the treasury bills in the amount of the 400,000 plus an additional 150,000. Actually, it's a total of $551,058.97. We expect that to mature to 553,000. So we're trying to use the treasury bills to get a better return than we would if we just left it in the key bank account. And we're investing about every month. So we can say, hey, this month we need so much of that to pay our bills, and we're going to reinvest the rest of it. So second time doing this, I'm sure we'll get better at it. But just to let you know what's going on. We're overdue on the annual financial report because there's just been so much going on. We haven't had the audit results yet. But I did get a notice from the Office of State Controller on that.
That's pending, some final, numbers from the audit, but, we're gonna follow up and see if we can get those sooner.
Yeah. I think that's about it. I mean, we talked about some other things, but they weren't necessarily strictly finance. And you may be covering those later.
Yeah, if I don't, will you bring them up? Okay, to move on. President's report, new personnel committee chair will be Samantha Hertler. So I don't think we have to make a motion, but wanted to acknowledge, thank you, Samantha, for doing that. And getting thrown in the deep end yesterday with our first personnel meeting right after finance. We will keep the personnel committee schedule as it was laid out. I just shouldn't be doing that as a board president. We already knew that, and it's nice to be at a point where we can let that go, since you were so new in the beginning and are seasoned now.
Is that what I am?
Yes.
Or ish.
Yes. So, okay, personnel updates. I would like to make a motion to approve the hiring of Michelle Fernandez as our new head of circulation. Do I have a second? Evelyn, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, Michelle will, I gave her a heads up, asked if she would like to join next time intro. She was out a little early today, well, by 5:30. She's on her second day, just getting onboarded. There is a lot of training that will need to happen, and I do want to point out that we now have more of an established hiring process, which is outstanding. That said, our hiring process got longer because there were a number of things that weren't being done previously, and so we are now more in compliance and doing things in a safer, more documented, compliant way. Unfortunately, that does mean our custodian, who we gave a job offer to on Friday, had already accepted another offer and told us no. So we either have to go back and do this for the third time, because it's now twice that the first round did not find someone that the team felt was qualified. Second round, we actually had two candidates that we were excited about. One went dark, the other said no. So we're really struggling to fill this position, and the department heads this morning questioned, is there another way to do this? And my point is, I think we should take the job description and lean it a little more towards maintenance, because that's really what we need. Yes, we need a custodian, but we have Derek doing a lot. It's more special projects, bigger things, or maintenance that needs to be done.
Can I back up and just ask a quick question about the hiring? Not of the specific person, Michelle, I'm excited to meet her. When we took on, when we had Clarity come on over a year ago.
Yeah.
I thought part of what they were going to do was to help with some of that. And so to hear that we didn't have anything, like, was it that they gave us stuff that wasn't utilized, or that we didn't utilize them for the things we said we were going to utilize them for? And I know that we've been utilizing them for other things that they're supposed to do, but with around hiring and making sure we have the like appropriate checklists and things that should be done when someone's onboarded.
There were aspects that felt like they've been done, and I can't tell you where they came from. So they did have some things like a hiring matrix that the hiring committee would use. And so they were doing some things well, but we weren't necessarily doing reference or background checks. And we weren't necessarily going, okay, how do we onboard this person? Let's put an agenda together. What training do they need? When does that need to be delivered to them by? Let's put a plan in place. There was a checklist of, for instance, things that as an employer, you need to have a conversation, give them personnel manual, offer benefits, have that onboarding. That was happening with HR, and the director, from what I can tell, the director was handling a lot of the offers and the offer letters. But I think that there was more language that needed to be in them, and we didn't necessarily have a process for like rejections in a timely manner, for instance, or notifications. So now it's, hey, can we go ahead and send this? Yes. What do we want to say? Oh, good. There's a little script. Okay, good. Send that out. So I think that's what we're moving more towards.
Okay.
Yeah. And to your point, I don't think that we were leveraging Clarity. I think we're leveraging them for their expertise, but not for templates. And that's what we're doing with Clarity now, is going, okay, we want to be more effective with the money that we're spending and more self-sufficient.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then, sorry to go back to the custodian. I would agree. I haven't looked at the job description since it first went out. What is coming in?
It's light. I mean, like, we're getting people that are sending maybe like a filled in application with a couple lines, or like a screenshot of a LinkedIn account, but not a full application. I mean,
Have we thought about sharing it in more creative spaces than like, I don't know. I don't know where it's been shared.
So the most recent attempt was the widest share. I think where we did have Patrick made a social graphic that did get posted to some of the community boards and places.
Oh, okay. I saw it, all right, I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, so it did make its way around a little bit more than past times, but I think it's tough. It's a custodian role that's not a lot of money per hour. There's no benefits. It's part-time. And I'm struggling with the fact that we have a custodian part-time in the evenings and early mornings, and then we have a custodian part-time that we're looking for the day. Why are we not making that a single salaried position with benefits and someone that has more capabilities with maintenance? That would add more cost. I think we should consider that for the new year. But I just want to point that out. Yeah. Lots of thoughts.
Yes, because at this current time, you have one part-time.
Yeah, and this would be the second part-time.
Yeah, well, and it's not only that, this is the contracted worker.
Now, the advantage is that you have him coming in at
Oh,
night.
yes. Yeah. Sorry, yes, we have one part-time, one contract, you're right.
Question, in the meantime, just an idea. Can you contract for a full-time? Cause we can let go of contracts anytime, a contracted, like agency, whatever it is, anytime. But until we come up with, or have the room to really like figure out like how we would write says, cause that was something I thought was odd when I first came on. I was like, hold on. There's a part-time employee and then there's a part-time contractor who comes in for 2 buildings. That's crazy. And not only that, this place is filthy.
It's disgusting.
Even with the dynamics of 2 part-times. So even us are attempting of doing another part, it's just the same situation. I don't care how good someone is. So I don't know, that just seems like we need something better anyway. So that's my thoughts about proposing full.
Well said, yeah.
The advantage of it being separate is that Derek is able to come in during the night when there aren't patrons around and clean freely. Where if we had, I don't know the difference between the term janitor and custodian, but the person that we're looking at for the daytime wouldn't have that capacity. They would be here during the day when there were patrons.
There are 2 different needs. So there are times when, yes, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. You don't want to do it around people, especially vacuuming that in a space that's going to be loud. Mopping is going to be a safety risk. Dusting, you don't want to do around certain people. He's doing special projects, Derek, with dusting on like a schedule where he comes in at other odd times on top of what he's doing. But that schedule is not able to get through all of the buildings. So, if you were to do a swipe test, you go, whoa.
Yeah.
And I think that to your point, there are needs for a custodian during the day because there are many times when a bathroom is suddenly out of commission due to an incident, or a clog. And what do? What they end up doing is just shutting the bathroom down. Now no one can use the bathroom. So that's not ideal. So
Yes.
we need someone available.
Other idea, and then I'll be out of ideas.
Yeah.
Full-time person who's here during the day at the times you need them because of the things you just outlined. And then contract some sort, like the school district does some of this stuff too, where it's like you just have someone come in every once in a while to do deep cleans, waxing the floors, like other, a list of things that person would otherwise not do.
Because Derek there are a number of things that Derek won't do. Cause I did ask him, hey, can you help with the boiler? He's like, no, that's not what I do. So I agree. And that's where, let's say that you've got a few factors and, I don't disagree with that. It's going to be something that we haven't budgeted for. So the question is, can we do it this year? And what does that look like? And in the meantime, are we trying to find a part-time person or are we contracting? I would love to talk about this and resolve it with, I think you're going to need department head feedback a little bit. They've been a part of both rounds of hiring and they have strong opinions, but I 100% agree.
And I was approached a couple of years ago about sharing an individual with a historical society because the person who had been doing a lot of the work for them on a volunteer basis died. and they were in need of services. So I don't know the current status, but I had mentioned to Tim that was broached at one time.
Interesting. Okay. Historic Society, question mark. Who, why am I blanking on her name?
Pardon?
Thank
Kathy
you.
Sheehan?
Yeah.
She wasn't the person who talked to me, but, you know, but
Do you want to ask?
she is the person that I would talk to, or
I'm not taking anything on, so I hear that. I'll say.
do you want me to look?
Yes, go for it.
Okay.
That would be great. If you think that that's still an opportunity or what
We
they
don't
did.
know until,
Yeah,
I
let's ask.
have no idea what they did, and
Let's find out.
they're just down the street.
I appreciate it. Let's just come to it. Can we bring this, we've got personnel coming up in,
A month,
yeah, less than that, actually, based on our
the
schedule.
beginning of July.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's the third.
Is it July
It's
1st?
not a month. I don't know if we can wait that long or want to.
I mean, part of this is the larger conversation about the budget asks, what our needs are, and et
Yeah.
cetera. And so if, I'm not saying we're coming up with the date of when we're going to meet, but we want to do that soon since it's June. We were talking about that earlier. So maybe it could be part of that conversation and then they get flushed out in the next personnel, but have a conversation about that.
I mean, I guess,
July first.
I guess for the time
Where's my
being,
calendar? Next personnel meeting is July first.
Oh, okay, thank you.
for the time being, I think there's no harm in just relisting what we have to see if anything else comes in. And then the personnel committee, when they meet, can discuss if there's, you know, more creative ways to approach either changing the listing or if there's anything that can't be done, but
Yeah, see what's out there again.
So
Right.
what's the primary question on the table?
Um,
Whether we're contracting or keeping part-time
Are there
or
other ways to
full-time, one,
meet our needs?
Yeah, I think right now, let's just relist what we have, see if we can get anything else in, do a little bit of a better promotion with it and.
I think largely it's a capacity question too, right? Because it's like we have a bunch of options, but what do we have the capacity to
yeah,
do
right.
without a current active director?
Yeah, because I think in the budget, I know we were anticipating other roles too with the rest of what's in salary, so
Yeah, no,
there's only a very limited amount, it seems like, for this position.
I agree. I think we need to think about it for 2027.
Yeah,
And I would feel awful if we like bring someone in and then we're like, oh, we're consolidating that.
right.
At the same time, we know how much facilities and maintenance work is needed. So I think it's gonna be a topic that we have to cover regardless of what position we have. And I also think it's the kind of role that's going to have turnover. I know Robert was here for a long time, but it's still, I don't know what the trajectory is on that one. So it's a minimum, almost minimum wage, so.
Mhm. Yeah, and the moment you start to position it as more of a facilities role, you're adding skills in there that would need to up the wage for anyone to take it seriously, which
Yeah.
makes sense.
Exactly.
So it's both a strategic and a capacity conversation.
So let's relist it and then let's look to the 2027 budget to consider our larger needs. Is that okay? And then we'll talk. Okay. Libraries, I'm not making a motion because that's like an operational thing that we're just filling in on. Library assistant hours, we are looking to expand hours for at least one library assistant. One went down and we're looking to offer them to another to go up. I haven't heard the status on that, but just wanted everyone to know that we're down on hours. And that will help get us back to being full if they accept. And if they don't accept, then we'll advertise or post for that job, which would be 20 hours. I think it's 20 additional hours. I might be wrong. Okay, pending civil service feedback. I'm not sure why. Civil service has gone dark on me. It could be because they're on vacation. I don't know. But I'm gonna follow up with them. Follow up because I have sent them emails and called on the temporary part-time library assistants for summer Saturdays. My understanding is that we can hire temporary workers for existing control numbers, and we already approved the summer Saturday position. I just want an absolute yes before they say, okay, let's get them. But we're into the summer, so it's important we get them. We also talked about that part-time admin assistant for 10 hours a week. I just want to verify that we actually have an admin assistant control. I see it in their folder. It looks like we have it. I just want like a yes, green light. I did also get, just for a heads up, because I don't think I ever noted it, there were questions about how can we hire a contract interim director. I talked to them. They're like, you're absolutely fine. And I've now talked to them multiple times about that. We're good. Any other, oh, we are updating a bunch of RPC forms. Over the last few months, a number of changes have happened. So I need to work with Lindsay to get all of those just signed up to date and submitted. And we have not heard back from New York Helps yet. That is out, and we were expecting to hear back in June, which was the deadline. So if we don't hear back this month, then I don't believe that those positions will have been made permanent versus provisional. But we'll see. There's a number of positions that we were hoping to have go permanent. Okay.
Part-time admin assistant, just remind me, I forget, I don't know about this.
So we had lost, so there were 15 hours of a library assistant that needed to be replaced.
Mhm.
And we're struggling with the audit findings where Lindsay is the only person handling money from beginning to end.
Oh, right, yeah.
And so we said we need redundancy, like we need someone else touching the money at different stages. And she's also doing so many administrative tasks, a number of which just disrupt the day. Or the staff needs someone to go to, but again, that disrupts the day and makes it hard to get through, you know, a financial report or a big audit or something else. If there was someone that is even in the office for 2 days a week, 5 hours, that gives staff someone to go, hey, can you reorder these supplies? And then they can also be there doing the individual admin tasks that Lindsay needs to not touch.
So who would they be a direct report to?
Lindsay. And that's where I asked her, I said, we talked recently about this, and I was like, you're a business manager, you know you would become a manager. And she goes, oh, I guess I would. And I was like, yes, you would.
And does the union know this? This person would be in the unit?
Haven't talked to them about it yet, but that's a good point, that
Because they would
need to represent. And then what would that, would we do the same for the summer Saturday people? Yes, right?
I think those are the temporary ones, right?
Yeah.
They're temporary.
So would that not?
So I don't know. That was a question I think I had. I think that was a question we had just in general for both civil service and for the union, because I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was
How
more
they
a
would
question
approach that.
of, is this adding work that could otherwise be done by bargaining unit members,
That was the-
not members? Yeah, that was the concern motivating it.
Wait, what was the question? There.
The original concern brought up was ensuring that by hiring temporary workers, you weren't replacing the work that would otherwise be done by bargaining unit members. But when we were having the conversation, I think the sentiment here was like, no, this actually supports
Yeah, that's what they want
folks to be able to, yeah,
Right.
right, without having to go into all of the conversation we previously had. If you're interested, listen to the last board meeting. But I just think those were the questions we had out, but I don't know that we heard back, whether it be from the union and to your point, you haven't heard from civil service, so.
Yeah, I mean, given we don't have a contract yet, so some of the stuff is up in the air. Generally, if they were only here for whatever it is, 14, 15 weeks, they would invest anyway. So
Yeah, but the part-time admin,
part-time.
for sure.
Right, I agree.
I'm wondering, kind of piggybacking off of what you said, do we know that Lindsay has the capacity to train at this point?
Yeah.
Okay, the time to do that and
It's gonna, yeah, and they're not, a number of these tasks are highly repetitive and just like data entry or double checking, fact checking, or submitting something. Yeah. That's not, I don't think that's the concern. I think, and remember, she's the one doing all the onboarding for everybody in the library, no matter who they are. So that's part of her job, and I think they could help actually with preparation. You also need some succession planning, I'm just gonna be honest. Everyone in all areas we need to be thinking succession planning. But I'll ask that question. We have the union negotiation. I do have a lot out to the union that I haven't heard back on, so I will poke them on that. What's the question on the admin assistant? Is it just, are they in unit? They would be, but,
It would be,
So
I would
what's-
just tell her that's what's coming.
okay,
Yeah, if you're going forward, we'll hire
Just
them
a
to
heads
stay.
up.
Yeah, just a heads
Just
up.
an
we are
FYI.
hiring.
yeah. So I think this is one of those gaps where the director previously would give like a monthly update to the union of everything happening.
Yeah,
So,
and I think because this would be friendly advice.
Mhm.
Because this is in this environment, I won't assume another environment in which Lindsay's worked, but because this is the first unionized environment she's worked in, maybe some support around what it means to now be managing someone who belongs to the union.
I'm gonna note, that's not Lindsay specific, that is everybody.
Sure, but because it's new to her, I just,
Yeah.
we're on the topic.
I hear you. And I'm gonna say,
So lump them in.
every single manager needs that training, so.
Yeah.
We're gonna cover that down in the town hall when we get there in new business. So let's keep moving because we're gonna cover it. But 100%. I do too. Okay, where are we at? Union negotiation status. I think we already mentioned that we did have a union meeting a couple weeks back, and then we have another one this Thursday. We've gotten through the economic proposals. We've already done one version of the at least non-economics. We're going back to the non-economics. Now that we have the economics to go, okay, looking at the economics, there were some things that were contingent, right? Dependencies. And so now we'll be able to look at it all with one big picture. They also did receive a copy of an accrual audit that we had because PTO was off in ADP. When that formula was getting calculated, there had been a selection made around like how you calculate it, and sick time was getting calculated after, not before the accrual. It's too much information to say that it threw people off by like a decimal point in one direction or another. Most people are getting more PTO now as a result. In some cases, it's 0.6 hours or 6 hours. So it's a good change. Also, thank you to the staff member who did find it and brought that forward, and the fast acting of Lindsay to fix it. She went back, manually audited, I reviewed, we looked at it all and good, okay, this is right. She manually applied anything from the past and then fixed the formula moving forward. So that should be resolved. And also the union has a copy of that to audit themselves too. The other thing they have is a copy of all salaries, hours worked, and position titles and where someone is on the step schedule. It's a little messy because there are some roles that were assigned to the step schedule that don't have a place. So our PIO or our community engagement specialist, we don't have a step for like professional services or those kind of roles right now. It's very librarian focused. So it's a little confusing for some of them. They are looking at that, and I think that will inform whether they accept the proposed step schedule for the next 3 years that they do have a copy of. Any questions? Look like you have a question.
No, it just might be worth looking at the school districts, like one for that part, because we also have steps. And there is the teachers union, and then there's the staff, like professionals. So that can be anything from like janitorial to clerical to whatever. And there's so many different ones, but there is one 10-step, like there are 10 steps.
Yeah.
So you just like, it can be done amongst the multitude of very different positions.
I agree. I think that we need to have step schedules that are separated because right now it's a linear step schedule where they assume that like it's you go from here to here to here to here, and every time you do, it's an increase. But where do you put professional? That's not gonna, if, I'll give it a, I already talked about the fact that we have this like senior library associate, but nobody is a senior library associate right now. So it's a very confusing title. I don't even know what job responsibilities would be, but what it does do is creates an additional jump for everybody from that to librarian 1. And it basically doubles whatever that increase would be because it's a linear step. So does that make sense? Like some of this is very, very, we gotta talk about professional services. We can't just put people randomly in the middle of a library.
Yeah, and this is where Nate should be strong because this is all he deals with.
We've looked at so many step schedules and models that
Yeah.
my brain hurts. Yeah, and it's a question of like, is it 8 step, 20 step, 30 step? Where do we want to go with it? That's
Can I make a comment? I don't know if it's specifically under union negotiation status, but I know last night we were kind of touching on the salary survey. I didn't know if this was the appropriate time to circle back to that.
circle back to anything. What's the,
All right. I just wanted to confirm, because I think we talked about last night, the salary survey, and I think it was something that we had asked you to look into. Is that something you recall?
Mhm,
Okay, is it something you've worked on?
mhm.
Do you have an update on that? Or something you could send me or anything about it?
I have the ones we've done, certainly. I think we were gonna discuss what was needed or wanted for this upcoming salary survey, and that I would do whatever needed.
Okay, how about you guys coordinate outside of this?
Yeah,
Because
I'll
I
need to
think,
clarify because I'm not sure I'm following exactly.
Okay.
I would say whatever we did in the past, we're gonna do again.
Same thing? Okay. That's easy enough because I still have all the old.
Is that something that could be done within like a month?
Oh,
Or
absolutely.
okay,
Just take some phone calls and emails.
so maybe by the next personnel meeting, we could have that
Well, your next one is coming on
beginning of July.
first. And this is, oh wait, there's time. I always think this is already the end of June. I don't know why, but as far as I'm concerned, it's the end of June.
Yeah, if we could coordinate for that for
Sure.
the next personnel meeting, I'd
Okay.
appreciate that.
We don't have to.
Thank you. Awesome. Okay, keep going. All right, department heads report. I apologize, you don't have that. I've got a bunch of department heads that are scattered to all the winds. Kaylee and Ian just got back from Italy. I did get their reports ahead of time. They're buried in my email somewhere. I have to surface them. We do have some things that should probably be added to them since that point, but not too many. Others sent me department reports all in various days. I will note that it was exciting because they sent them earlier than they typically have, but then they all got lost in the inbox. I would really like to find a way to get the department reports put into a shared drive folder for department heads so that they're in one location, not in the inbox. And that allows us to make like a little department head packet on a regular basis rather than having a director have to, track them down. And it will also help to make them a single format because they range so wildly in the formatting. So it's not major, but I apologize. I'll get you guys that in email and then maybe we can accept it at the next meeting and do a review. So I'm just gonna put RDDH reports. Okay, and we have a lot that we're about to talk about that has kind of risen up and took the place of some of that organization, but it does feel like positive things are happening. The department head meetings that used to be bi-weekly are now happening on a weekly basis because there's so much change that's going on. And, it's a lot of leadership change. There's a lot of, we're holding them accountable as a board to many more things. And that is causing, what's the word I'm looking for? Some folks are change averse, right? Others, it's just okay, but now it's logistics and having to think through everything. But everyone's been handling it really well. So, what I was going to say in the department heads meeting, they are meeting every week. They also have an agenda. And one thing that they had started doing was doing a report out to the staff at the end of the department head report or meeting. That stopped, and I don't know why. I think it's because Patrick might have been doing it. He wasn't here today. He was out sick. So we're going to try to just make sure that that department head report goes out to everyone on a weekly basis every time.
And that's like an email.
Yes.
Okay.
And so they would recap what happened in the meeting, circulate it, confirm what goes in it, edit it, then get it out. Yeah, staff-wide. I'm just going to put staff-wide DH email continue. I will say we had an adult services department head meeting today, or not a full department meeting to talk about schedule. They're using Sling. Sling is the scheduling app, and it's gotten, not everyone's using it consistently. So every department uses it a little differently, labels a little differently. They're working to make it more consistent. They also have ADP for PTO requests, but then when you schedule everyone in Sling, you have to reference the PTO requests. And then if someone texts you or emails you, they have to reference that. But then if people have programs, you have to reference that. But then in addition to the shift schedule, you also have to make the reference desk schedule, and that's separate from that. And I'm just going to say it's very confusing.
Yeah.
So
I kind of need it on a whiteboard, whatever you just said.
I tried to do it and I was like, nope, that starts my brain. And I think for other people, you could probably sit there and just map it out. It would just take time. But the concern from staff really is are we getting notification of our schedule with enough notice to live our lives, to make appointments, to pick up my kids, right? These are legitimate concerns. And with the staff change and, head of adult services moving over from branch manager, but kind of still over there, well over here, while filling in for head of cert being out, it's been difficult to do a great job with that schedule. So adult services did express some concerns, and that's what prompted the meeting. Lori did great receiving all the feedback. She's going to work on that with them on putting solutions in place and being more accountable to getting that out on a regular basis with more notice. It's also something that's coming up in the CBA. So the CBA will dictate when they need to post the schedule by, and everyone, like, that's one of the biggest concerns from staff is getting that with more advanced notice. Okay. I'll talk training when we get down to it in town hall. Anyone have any department level questions or, summer reading? I'm so sorry. I should have put this on here. It's like really important, and it's hopefully called out in Carol's YPS report. We have the welcome kits at Burdett Birth Center happening. And that is between Burdett Birth Center and the Troy Public Library. But then Lindsay said, I have a friend that works at Pioneer Bank. Would you like to see if someone can help fund this? So Ann Scributanis had done this at Schenectady, went with Carol, and they talked to Pioneer Bank, and they said, yeah, absolutely. So that is now going to be funded by Pioneer, and there will be Troy Public Library kits and going in for every person that is birthed at Burdett. Yeah,
Do we know how long that's for? I think it's just gonna just
So the
persist.
money runs out.
yeah, I think I could be wrong. I think they got approval for at least a year to start with, or through end of year. And then I'm sure they'll look to renew it after that.
And they're increasing, which is, I know a little bit about Burdett. But they're increasing. They're at they're at between 800 and 900 births now a year.
Wow.
So it's a decent amount.
Yeah.
I would suggest, because Stewart's has been known to give to some of the early childhood stuff, they would probably give money to this.
I think a lot of people would. I think
Absolutely.
it's such a good program.
Absolutely. So I don't know if this is something that is like a request that's already been made.
It has, they do have a Stewart's relationship. So
Right.
I know Carol's got a good one there. So she'll pull on that depending on what they do. I hear that. We are working also with the Governance and Policy Committee on at least one policy to start with, which is the unattended children / maybe dependent individuals policy. And this is the first time that we're doing a policy in collaboration with the staff at the same time. And I feel like it's going well.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. There's some outstanding questions. They did give the recommendation today to break it apart, make dependent individuals separate from unattended children. Because
Is that in there?
They're combined in the one policy.
No, this feedback though is that.
No, it's not on the doc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it came to me today. So in the department head meeting, I said, what do we have to do to make this push it across the finish line?
Right.
And they said, it would be good for the board to adopt it with an effective date after summer reading. And I said, okay, that gives you guys time to get everybody that you're concerned about. They're concerned about the unattended child age because the staff has indicated there are already young children that are in compliance with our current policy to be in the library themselves. But with the new policy, we are bumping the age up a little bit. And there's at least one 8-year-old child who had been very excited to come to the library and get their books on their own every day. And they don't want it to affect them. So I hear that they want to give a little more notice that one child will be older the next time we do this next year, and they will be at our minimum age. So
yeah, I mean, that's the thing I guess is confusing because I don't have any, there's no propriety here around what they want to as the ages. So
right.
That was the feedback I think I'm hoping for is I'm not married to any of them. So I am not here to crush the dream of any 8-year-old. So I don't care. It can be, as long as it's reasonable, that's fine. I think that was the feedback I was leading them.
I agree. Yeah.
To move ahead, but I'm ready to Push play.
I think, let's coordinate at the next policy meeting, and I think you might be able to, if we can get it, all of it done before then, you should be good to go. And it'll feel exciting, so it'll be the first time we've kind of pushed a policy lately,
Yes.
with this kind of model of working with the staff to get there.
Mhm.
They are also starting to think about policies. So I did have Lori say to me, oh, by the way, the staff brought up an idea that we need a policy on this. And I went, oh my God, that's amazing. We've got staff now going, policies, wait, this is a policy, not a procedure. And that's really nice.
Yes, yeah.
By staff, is it mostly department heads that you've been working with on this, or is it?
So I can only speak to one department that I know of, but because this was mostly one that impacts YPS, I know that Carol went back to her staff to have that conversation and she came back with the feedback. That was my, not directive, but that was what I encouraged when I sent it out to them for feedback, was that they be sure to include them. So, yeah.
It was a department head.
And I'm not saying the others aren't, that's just the only one I know that for sure did.
Yeah, and the request for policy came from a staff member communicated to me by a department head. So people are thinking about it beyond the department heads, so it's nice.
And seemingly going to their department heads to
Yeah.
talk about it, which is.
Yeah, and these are like such small wins, but it's indicative of like a behavior and a pattern
Yeah.
and education.
Right.
That's so
Right.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay to keep going?
Mhm.
Okay, we'll do that next time. So interim director hiring committee update. You want to give that?
We have about 3 viable candidates at this point.
I mean, they're all alive, but.
Yeah, viable is maybe not there.
Yeah.
Excuse my word
To our
choice.
knowledge, they're all living. Kidding.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
I'll be quiet now. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you want to give the update? Sorry,
I'm
okay.
sorry. Sue.
No, I'm trying to figure out what to say.
Here's what I'll say. Do we need to go into executive session to discuss this? Or can we say it out loud? I guess we're trying to figure out whether to extend the final interview to 2 or 3. We're on the fence. We feel very confident that 1 is absolutely going to that.
Yes, one is absolutely moving forward to a 3rd interview for sure.
There are 2 others where we have to make a decision.
Yes.
And I think there are different factors that influence that decision. But we do need to schedule that. So if we don't, it feels like we should discuss that.
Yeah.
It would be, if we went into executive session, it would be short to just discuss the employment and offer of a particular individual.
We aren't going to be discussing persons
Yes.
and their acceptability or their future here. That's something that I do believe is covered by executive.
No,
session.
No, absolutely.
It's not?
The issue. No, it is.
Do we want to talk about it really fast?
The other question is whether we want to do it at this point.
Yeah, I'd like to
If
know.
you just want me to leave, then you don't have to go into
We
executive
have to stop the
session.
recording anyway, Fred, it's fine.
Yes.
It should be short though, Freda.
I did find out that people watch these. So hi to everybody that's watching. I know of at least one former employee who's like, yeah, no, I watch them all the time. And I was like, I love that. I love that people are
Right.
watching.
Yeah.
So thank you for holding us accountable.
I'm here for the toilets.
So I would like to make a motion to enter executive session to discuss the employment and potential hiring of individuals, of an individual at the library. Do I have a second?
Second.
Anthony, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, Freda, we're gonna put you on pause, but we'll come back.
So I have a request.
Yes.
Can you shoot me an email when it's over?
Yeah,
Yes,
We-
we will.
Ashley will.
We have good
Okay,
news that
thanks.
you're looking for later. All right, thank you.
I,
Thank you.
Wonderful. We came out of executive session at 6:45 PM. Anthony seconded. All were in favor. No actions were taken. The next order of business is to discuss the library director status. And, I do want to note that we are actually going to need to go back into executive session.
Sorry, Fred.
Okay, Fred, ignore my email.
But we did try to make it quick.
We did, that was a good one.
So I would like to make a motion to enter executive session to discuss Potential current or pending litigation. Do I have a second?
Second.
Anthony, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Opening that door because thank you. I think the side door's open.
Okay.
We-
Next.
So,
Brenda just wanted to say thanks and bye.
thank you, Freda. All right, we exited executive session at 6:59 PM. Ashley seconded, all in favor, no actions were taken. There's one more update that I need to give on the president's side. I would like to enter executive session to discuss the employment history and status and disciplinary action of an individual. Do I have a second?
Second.
Samantha, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, do you mind doing that one more time? It is 7 PM.
You've been here so long.
All
Okay.
right.
Thank you. We exited executive session at 7:29 PM. Ashley seconded, all in favor, no actions were taken. Next order of business, old business, production contract status. Okay, I think everybody has heard through the grapevine, but we are approved for a $30,000 payment for a production company that I cannot name because of the confidentiality clause. But we will be finishing the red lines and they will be starting the prep work tomorrow. That will continue for X period of time. They will shoot on Juneteenth or the Saturday after Juneteenth, and then there will be a couple of days of post and wrap. So yay, $30,000.
So
They
would we be closed that Saturday, after
Yeah.
Juneteenth? I know we're closed Juneteenth, right?
Yeah.
We are closed
And then-
Juneteenth. And then
Yeah.
the whole library will be closed on that Saturday, which because of summer hours, we were only open 4 hours.
Right?
Yeah, it's already a holiday weekend anyway, so it's not the first.
It's not bad. It's actually not that bad at all. But what will affect the patrons more is the fact that the work they're doing with waxing that needs to close the entire reading room
Mhm.
for 3 days. And then once they start dressing the space and doing the post wrap work, same thing. The reading room won't be open. The flag room, where we do have people who've reserved it for some meetings and other moments. The wheelchair accessibility to the second floor of the stacks or just any accessibility needs won't happen. They're actually going to close that section off. We are looking at how we stop the elevator because we want to be able to stop people on the first floor from being able to get up top. Also, we know that once you empty the reading room, all of the computers where people also reserve the computers will no longer be available. And then you have to move everything out of the space, which will take over the art gallery. So that will not be available for programming either. So long story short, the second floor is closed. And it's closed for, what did we say, 12 days?
Yeah, and not counting June 20th, so it's 13 total. That, oh, yeah.
13 total days. It'll be closed. The whole library, 1 day, the upstairs, 12 days. So that $30,000 compensation feels fair. And we did have to negotiate pretty heavily on that, but we wanted to make sure that taxpayers, given the inconvenience and how that was affecting them, would see a benefit to the library that can become tangible and applied to something, which we'll make a determination of later.
Does this affect staff hours?
Yes, it does affect staff hours because they want to be here from 7 in the morning till 7 at night. We are not open from 7 till 7, so we're gonna have to look at coverage.
We didn't create it.
We are
So folks
looking,
aren't losing hours.
No.
because- Okay, well, that's good.
no, and we will be looking for volunteers for how to do that. It'll probably be department heads and me,
Yeah.
but we'll figure it out.
And perhaps I know, like, I'm almost thinking like COVID brain with this, like how to, provide, try to help support folks in another way, like mobile pickups, or if there's a way,
Yes.
and they would know, these
They've-
folks would know better than
They've thought
I.
about that.
But if there's other ways to try to accommodate what you can in that time, that might be.
Yeah, they're gonna have to pull books for people and things.
Evelyn had a comment too.
Yeah, go for it.
Can any of us help? Be
I'm sorry?
volunteers. Takes a minute.
I mean, the thing is, it's gonna be opening procedure, having keys, doing all of that, and then the big thing is, in my mind, watching. We did get an assessment with Tony Ward, who did he was our clerk of the works for the HVAC project. He did come out, took photos and did a physical facilities assessment. So everything is documented ahead of time. And then we did negotiate in the contract an additional 30. So they had, I think, like 5 days for us to tell them if there was a deficiency in the space. We negotiated 30 days. So we'll have him come back, reassess, document, and see if there are issues, because we still have issues with what happened last time that were never fixed. So this will give us the window that we need and the documentation. So, yay.
So I had asked a question, I don't know whether it got answered, about we have 2 days on both sides of the filming that were closed anyway. Do they work on those days?
No, Juneteenth, they're closed. They're not, no production.
And Sundays? Not, we're not talking production, we're talking setup and takedown.
Yeah, they won't be here Sunday and they won't be here Juneteenth.
Do we know when we can expect the payment?
Tomorrow in cash. No, I don't know.
Excellent.
Bills.
Yeah, I don't know that we have net terms in there, so I can look at that because I have to do the red line, like final acceptance and signature tonight.
And
So
I assume it's gonna be in one payment, it's not piecemeal?
let's put all now, no, in single bills. I'm not sure. Let me ask them how they're doing that and what they're doing, but thank you to the production that shall not be named, that nobody probably knows is happening in
Yeah.
Troy, New York right now.
And they should be following a lot of basic safety procedures and following a set number of hours and all that stuff, because it is also a unionized environment. They're all IATSE members
Yeah.
on the set.
I will say, I think that we are probably the highest paid location, based on some other factors and for the time frame. And I understand that that was a big ask. It's not standard or normal, but I think that in our case, we're a public service, and that's like closing down a fire department or a police station or city hall. And if there is no benefit to the patrons at all, other than improvements to the facility or cash, like there's no other benefit. So I'm happy with it, and I just wanted to state that for the record. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
good
and they're
job.
monetizing off of our historic structure,
Yeah.
so
Which we can't maintain without.
without the money,
Help.
so thank you, HBO.
We were
Oh,
not.
sorry, sorry.
You're bad at this. No.
Cut me out, or show me how to cut me out and I'll cut me out.
Bleep. All right, we'll have to,
Make
we'll
me
edit
sneeze.
this.
So you're assuming that it's say because they're filming in other areas?
Right, yeah,
But
no,
the agreement's
that's true, I
still-
forgot.
All right, let's keep going. Next order of business. Sorry.
Good job, Marie.
Yeah,
Our annual financial.
I would like to point at 7:36 PM.
Can I just clarify, when you said that they're not going to be in the building on Friday and Saturday, Sunday, it's because they can't work on those days, right?
Juneteenth, they don't work, from what I
Okay.
understand.
And-
Sunday, we're closed.
Right.
So my assumption is that, and this is an assumption, there is a schedule, because we did not have a scope of work. So I created an exhibit that has a schedule in the exhibit that breaks it down, and it says the library is closed. We are closed. Nobody is in the building.
Right, but if they do work on Sunday, it would be better to have them work on Sunday when the library is closed ordinarily, so that maybe they're done a day earlier for patrons to use the library. Am I being unclear?
Who is going to monitor them? So are we asking for a staff member to come in on the day off?
Or could that, and I don't know if this is the right answer or not, because this is a very unorthodox thing that's happening. Is that a way, like Evelyn had asked if there's a way for someone close enough to the library to volunteer to just like keep an eye on things? Is that possible? And I don't know. Just a question.
I just want, it
I don't
just
know.
seemed like maybe it was something to be considered. Maybe a staff member would be willing to work to be here when they were here on a Sunday with no patrons. I don't know. I just wanted to pose it as perhaps a way of getting one day back for the patrons.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I'll ask
Okay.
Sunday work question mark. I don't know who's gonna want to do that, because you get into issues with, they just work their whole schedule, so.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it, because I'll have done it for all the days prior.
Right.
So I don't know who's gonna do it, but we'll ask.
Are we recording? I don't
We are, yeah.
know. Maybe there's somebody who works part-time who would see it as an opportunity to get some extra money working a full day on a Sunday. I don't know. You don't know unless,
It's going to exceed 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So it's not gonna be a person. It's gonna have to be like 4 people. So we're trying to do 2 people in the building over those times.
Oh,
So,
it may not work. It just seemed like maybe we could avoid being closed for an extra day or,
I hear you. We're at the point of signing the red lines, so they're coming into the building tomorrow. So I wish we had talked about that sooner. I'll ask. I'm just at a point where I'm frustrated. I want it to be done. We gotta sign it. And that's gonna delay us because I thought I was gonna sign everything tonight. I can't do that if I have to now go to the department heads, ask this question, have them ask their staff, figure out who can do it, contact HBO, ask them. And if they've already planned to not shoot on that day, now they have to figure out whether they're gonna increase that, and that affects their shoot schedule. So I hear what you're saying, but it's gonna delay everything and cause a hiccup at this point. So I assume they've already got their shoot schedule done. That's what they've put together and they know this. These are the dates that they gave us. So,
so they gave us the date of not working on Sunday.
yes,
Okay.
yes. So, they're not working on either of the Sundays that were closed.
Okay. Well, then it may not be worthwhile pursuing.
Okay, can we keep going? Annual financial report, we already talked about that being delayed. We're waiting for findings from the audit status. I'm meeting with them tomorrow to talk about fraud controls. I know that Lindsay continues to work with them.
Could I be at that?
I'm sorry?
If you're meeting with them to talk about fraud controls, I'd like to be there.
No, you can't do that. They're talking to each person individually as like an interview.
Oh, okay, I have been interviewed.
Right, then you
I
had
thought they were
yours.
giving feedback.
No. Yeah, this is my interview. So you had yours, I am having one. I know they talked to, I think Clarity. I know we also referred them to Tony. Because a number of the people who were involved in some of the larger contracts aren't here anymore. So we were looking for the next best person, which is where Tony oversaw a lot of the invoices for the construction projects, DRI. And it made sense for him to answer that because in many cases he was negotiating, overseeing the work or questioning the invoices that came in. So Maria's treasurer was interviewed. I'll be interviewed. Clarity was a little uncertain because they weren't necessarily the point of contact, but they can answer all of the invoices that they had sent. So, and then I think they might have contacted Nate. I'm not sure entirely. Okay. Anyone else that wants to be interviewed by the auditors, let me know. I'll just throw your name in there too. Okay. Okay. Okay to keep going?
Yeah.
2027 library construction grant. I talked to Chris, or, oh my goodness, not Kirsten last night. Anthony, I know you met with him too. That was technically due yesterday. Chris Sagas is giving us an extension until, I'm gonna say end of day tomorrow. It could be Thursday when UHLS finally is able to review everything. Their annual dinner is tomorrow, so for anyone who's going to that. Thank you, Evelyn.
I may be going. I haven't put, I don't know.
You needed to have RSVP'd and paid for it. Did you already do that?
No, I haven't, so I guess I'm
Yeah,
not going to that one.
they needed a head count a week ago. So I think there might be one staff member going as well, and thank you to those who are. I don't have the capacity, but that means that thankfully, because it's happening, UHLS will not start reviewing the library construction grant intent forms until Thursday. So we have a little bit of time. We already talked about the concerns with the plumbing and electrical, because that really is a service design. It's not the actual implementation work, and it would be a shame. We also heard from Chris that they're not going to cover the design work. So even if we submitted it, that $35,000 to $40,000 wouldn't be covered. That would have to come out of pocket. And what we're trying to do is get that plan to then get quotes for that work, which is going to far exceed whatever they give us, depending on what we choose. But we don't really have the time frame between now and July to get onboarded, signed, and then have them do all the findings that they have to do within the building while the production company that won't be named is here. And then get quotes from all the bidders for the project to then have those in time for the actual deadline. We just don't have the time for that. So the question is, what can we do as a project? And there were a number of projects that kind of came up as possibilities. A lot of them are not eligible because they are repair, maintenance, lead-based, asbestos-based. There's just a lot of things that we're disqualified for. That's where an idea came up to go back to the ley lights. And I want to be very specific that we're looking at a reconstruction of the ley lights that affects patron safety. And we need to get that quote, bring it back, review it, and ideally put the right language in place. Because I think before it was framed potentially as a repair, when what it really needs to be focused on is safety and a reconstruction of the historic structure that is important to the integrity of the building, the history of the building, and safety for patrons. That was the advice of Kirsten. Yes.
And Kristen, I don't know if actually ever understood what they're being, how they're being reviewed. One of the most important, number one priority for the review is usable space, appropriate space. So safety, yes, but if you're talking about all those other things, it's fine. But being able to say that you can't use this space for programming, for patron services, etc., that's going to get their first attention. And then the rest of the things follow after. There's like, forget 70 things.
The reading room. So the reading room is the largest available space to patrons, right?
And heavily used. I mean,
It
used
could be
more
light
so
lights
than
in the
your-
reading room and light lights in the art gallery.
Is the largest available and trafficked space for patrons and patrons. Okay.
I'm going to be, sorry, are you talking again, very programming? Because then it's the art gallery. If you're talking patron space, then it's the.
No, they have some larger programs in there occasionally, but yeah.
reading room.
Yeah.
Well, are we focusing, I thought this was for the art gallery. The
No,
light lights.
we're talking about the reading room.
In the
Right?
reading room.
Am I wrong? The way
reading
lights,
room and art gallery.
Yeah, it's both.
it's both.
That's what
We're-
the quote we have is for.
What we got a quote on.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What's the amount that we have the quote for?
So we have three options. The first is 190,165. That's for removing all 45 panels for a complete restoration and refurbishing the wood frames. Option two is removing the 13 most visibly deteriorated panels for studio restoration. We make no predictions regarding longevity or safety of the remaining panels not attended to. That's for 55,000, and then for 22,000 would just be to document and remove all the panels and create them for storage, and the openings would be covered and sealed. It's an option one.
Which would actually affect the environment because we do rely on those to help heat space, especially in the wintertime. So
Can I ask a really specific question? When you were reading that they use the word restoration a lot, is that gonna harm our application?
that's the question is around the language. The words matter very much.
Well, that's why I'm wondering if in the actual quotes themselves, even if we don't use the language in our
Great
application.
question. I think we should get it requoted.
Yeah.
Because how old is
I'm-
that quote at this point?
It's 4 years old. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I can reach out to them and
Yeah.
ask if they can review and update, because I'm sure that the amounts have changed based on materials costs.
Are we gonna have enough time for that?
They've already done that. I mean, they've done quotes twice already.
Okay.
But I think that it is out of date.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's really important in wording is to make sure you're describing which space, which, both of them, one or the other, because that is what was the hiccup in the roof and having to go look for other monies in our finances because it wasn't.
Right. What,
Because it wasn't what?
written properly?
Chapman
Written
Stained Glass
properly.
Studios.
Chapman stained glass?
Yeah.
Okay, do you feel comfortable poking them?
Yeah, I can.
You know, I was thinking maybe trying a different company that's right here in Troy.
Well, I think we need to get 3 quotes.
Well,
It's a dollar amount.
You call one.
Yeah,
It's difficult because we don't have that many stained glass companies here in this area,
Howard.
and particularly getting it tomorrow.
Right.
No, we don't need it tomorrow, so I want to be very clear.
So we don't, this is not something we're trying to get for tomorrow.
No,
We need to, as a board, be in agreement on what we want to submit. And if we feel like this is the best project, that we are risking a potential decline based on maybe them saying it doesn't fit the parameters. But I think we have time to work on it. Kirsten said we should. Let's work on the language. You have time to get updated quotes. You have time to get a second quote. And we can come back and inform them also of the kind of language that we need for the project so that they don't put trigger words in there that are inappropriate.
Yeah, I don't know whether you saw what I sent you. You know, one portion was the quote, or a link to the quote. The other was to the language that was one of the documents that was included for the roof. And it talked about it being a capital improvement, not a recurring maintenance. So in looking at that, I don't, you know, I wouldn't think
Recurring.
this is a recurring maintenance.
No.
This is once in 125 years
Exactly.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. So maybe it would pass. Kirsten had never suggested in the past when we talked about it. He never suggested going for a construction grant for it.
Mm.
It is high priority.
Yeah.
In the HSR.
I'm terrified. I mean,
Is there
It's
material
scary.
falling? Or-
Yeah.
There is, oh.
Oh, it's cracked. Yeah, there are a number of pieces.
Which
that are cracked.
parts, I'm not on
Last
facility,
couple
so I
of
have
years,
to.
yeah.
Cracked, but has anything actually fallen on the
I don't
floor?
believe so.
I don't think
Not
any,
that I
I
know.
think that's your
Could
question.
you say the
Nothing-
top and then
nothing's
the
come down.
sides too, right?
None of
No,
the,
or
or has it?
ceiling.
I think there,
Just the ceiling.
I think something did one time, what something did. So I'll double check,
Yes.
but my understanding is that there was something that fell from it. And that's the problem, right?
No, understood, yeah.
I can
Would have to be
confirm,
glass.
but I think there was a small portion that did, and it
That would
didn't
be
do it
good
when
to know.
anyone was there, though. What?
That would be good to know if
Yeah,
that occurred. I mean, it could have occurred.
with someone there.
But, you know, since I'd seen photos or the quotes, the evaluation was done.
And there are other, like, other barriers above it,
Yeah.
above the light lights, just so I don't know what people know and don't. So it's not like the whole roof's coming in and down. It's just the decorative piece that is a bit of a danger.
Do we want to pass a motion to recommend that that's the project? Do we need to do that as a board?
So we understand that the plumbing electrical thing is not the best choice because there are some,
Well,
it doesn't look like it's a
It's
go, which is
incomplete.
fine. Right,
I mean, how do we write it? All we have is the
okay. So
design quote and,
they're not gonna do design, so.
well, not so much that they're not going to do design, but we need the other piece for the actual implementation.
and it's gonna be HVAC level work, and it's work that is,
Understood.
so we're in a library. It is work that is a choose your own adventure. It's work that has the initial quote as well as if you would like this, it's this much. If you would like this, it's this much. If you want to incorporate a plan for this, it's this much. So it's going to be, in my mind, and I think we're of the same opinion, Marie, on this, that we don't know what we're doing with this building in like a long-term strategic way. So for us to come in and try to quote that project is premature unless we're going after something very specific somewhere. But until we know that we're not doing a full bond for a giant renovation or something else, then why are we wanting to quote a project of that size and magnitude? We need a little more insight, which would be great to return to when we get that long-range plan soon.
And the fix needs to be done no matter what happens to the building. It has to be, got it.
And we can't pull it together in a day to submit.
So
No, we can't.
we got stuff on that.
And we don't want to miss it. This
No,
seems
that's
reasonable.
Yeah.
And, you know, too, if we're doing like X and Y and they say, but, you know, when the committee's reviewing the proposals, that's what August is all about, is to negotiate. Can you get rid of this? Can you do that? That gives us more leverage in a sense of being able to get something done.
I mean, we've been talking about this construction grant for months now.
Yeah.
So nothing else has come up other than the lay lights. I think it's fine to move forward with that.
Well, I got excited about the windows. Kirsten
right.
did also recommend the
Yeah.
windows in the back. But there were, was it Kirsten? You did that.
Might be easier to get in the door.
And then Kirsten said, don't do it because he said not all windows are created equally. And with those back windows, they're just not, yes, they do need attention and some repair work, but again, it's mostly repair work or reconstruction. He's like, there's a difference between the front gorgeous windows that everyone can see and those back small windows. And again, you talked about like if there had been a proposal to expand the building out and potentially put another addition on, and if that was the case and we just redid our windows, the windows might go away. And I get worried because they are covered in lead, so I think there's gonna be a lead abatement portion of that, even if it's small.
We
Yeah.
need more details.
Right, which won't be
Okay.
covered.
You know, that could be painting. So, and painting isn't covered.
Right.
Unless it's
Painting's
part
not
of the
covered.
bigger project.
Was any of that included when we made the original proposal to do those windows some years ago, before we had to switch the monies to the HVAC project?
It got shot down, something was shot down, what was it?
Restoration versus,
Right, they didn't want the windows replaced, they wanted them restored, wanted them
Yeah.
restored.
it's a 2 hour.
Yeah, Kirsten said if you try to do it again, go look at ACCR, they were rejected for the same thing,
Okay.
same project.
I have no problem, by the way, with the playlights because they need to be done. If they're staying with the building, no matter what.
I didn't know what that stood for either, and we were thinking Arts Center of the Capital Region.
Oh, that would make sense.
Okay, because I was, found another acronym online that wasn't it.
So who's going to write this proposal for
They were applying to.
submission?
If you have it, Lindsay and I can do it. I've already got it staged on my laptop. It's ready to go. We just needed the dollar amount, which I think.
I'll make up a dollar amount. Seriously,
No, I know. You and Anthony are both like, just put it here.
Go high.
But if it was 4 years ago, you need to look at tariffs, you need to look at cost of labor, you need to look at inflation, so just. We
You
need,
want me to come, I'll come up with a.
I need someone to give me the specifics, like a project narrative, the dollar amount. If you can send that, I'll submit it. And I'll make some edits to it. If you can give me something tomorrow, is that okay?
Okay, and you want a project narrative?
Yeah,
I had written a grant application that got turned down for it previously.
well,
so maybe it's not you.
The only one I
Who
got
else
turned
wants to do
down
it?
on.
The only one, not bad.
The only one
So
with
what
all the
we,
ones I've done, so, or the few I've done.
there's 3 components. We need a cost, we need a project description, and we need a budget narrative. I'm sorry. So,
I don't know what I submitted previously. I will look at it.
Okay.
And see what I can salvage from that.
I will edit whatever I'm good at editing. I have a hard time starting. So
This is for the letter of intent, right?
yeah, and it's just a Google form,
Yeah.
but it'll,
Yeah, there's not a lot to it if I remember the form correctly.
but we do need a clear description, and here's what I'm worried about. It's gonna go through UHLS, and they're gonna start by the end of this week thinking of who they want to allocate the money to. We need to be buttoned up enough to say, this is what we need, and if we're uncertain or it doesn't look well structured, then they're not gonna give us that money. They're gonna give it to other people who are better prepared.
Well, and I think they want to give us money and that we need to make it possible for that to occur.
Yes. Yeah,
Otherwise, they can't call us, they call us sometimes that poster child for the grant money,
And
you know,
that's-
the whole project, so yeah.
I had that conversation with Chris. I don't like being, like, if we're the poster child for this, my concern was, then why is it that we're unable to get so many of our capital improvement needs met? Because what we have is so much repair and maintenance, and you guys can keep calling it that.
Oh, it's whack-a-mole over here.
Yeah, and but this is, he said, but this is the library construction project,
Yep.
and the state allocates funds for new construction. It is not meant to repair old. And I said, then I don't understand. How are we supposed to?
Have we gotten a
Mixing
briefing on
words.
what ended up being passed at the legislature? If anything is
It
changed?
didn't get him, yeah.
Nothing did.
It didn't change.
So fabulous.
But it in the document that I looked at, and I'd never seen this before, except from YouTube recently, it said that it was capital improvements funded by bonding, and that's why it was limited.
Mhm.
Now, that may be how they choose to perceive it, or the policy, implement it, but
Okay.
that's where it was coming from.
And I'm surprised that Chris has said that, because again, having went through this with especially with the previous director, the whole point is when you go to the legislators on that day, you're saying, look how many old buildings we have.
No, Chris Sagas said it.
Yeah, Chris
Yeah,
Sagas
yeah,
is saying this.
yeah.
I'm surprised he is.
Yeah.
Because he should be, I don't remember seeing him at any advocacy. I know he's goes to Nyla. And that's the premise of their old buildings.
Yeah.
And they need help. There's some new construction too, and new things we need.
Yeah.
But the legislators that we talked to, there's so many older buildings that need work, whether or not they're 25 years old or 250 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that he said this is about new construction.
I know. I think we should push it. Let's see where we can go with it. And I think it's just about language nuance. But we have a great case. The dollar amount feels right too. It's the only thing where I'm like, oh, perfect. That's within the range that we've gotten in the past. So
It could, I mean, what we would be looking for would be a couple 100,000, but that's at that quote from 4 years ago.
you just told me you're giving me a new number, Marie.
I will, but it could be 400,000.
Stop it. Okay,
But that might work.
we'll figure it out.
But if that's the case, then let's just do one room.
I have duct tape.
Okay. I would,
Let's keep going. We gotta keep going. Is that okay?
Yes. What Evelyn, what did,
if you start off by just saying one room, then that's all you're gonna get. If you start, however, with saying 2 rooms, they will negotiate you down later. I mean, Upper Hudson will call you, Chris will call and say, can you give this up? Can you make it one part of the
Yeah,
project?
we have to plan for the fact that it's gonna get negotiated down. We know that. Guys,
I know you know, but.
I'm a rock star
Okay, thank you.
negotiator. We just did this with whatever production. they'll have to
I
do.
think you brought up something and
All right.
Whoever they are. Troll quotes.
All right, troll roof coats. This was on here from last time. Do we have anything else to update on this one?
I did finally hear back from Lisa, but still talking with her. Does anybody happen to have the bid that we put out for the roof of this building?
Mm.
I'm looking at people who've been on the board.
when we put out the specs for bidding,
Yes.
I would assume that it's somewhere in the files. Those
Those
things weren't shared with us. I mean, it's incredible. We're getting a lot more information than I've ever seen on these things.
You know, the basic information, if anything, but it should, the actual.
Because I have a lot of different specs. I just don't know what the format is for, putting this out. And I think that having a draft that I can share with Lisa, and then hopefully we can
Should
get
have
that
been
back
in
and
the
forth.
file cabinets, but I don't know what it is with material.
Lisa isn't going to do that.
She's willing to help, but she has not just presented me with a draft. So I just want to get things moving faster. If I can just send her a draft, and she'll know better than me, if I've made any mistakes, but at least that way we'll be getting this rolling faster.
I do want to clarify that. I asked first time, I said, look, I don't think I'm getting as much of like a responsiveness on some of the TAP things. And he said, you need to remember that what they typically do at TAP is residential, and anything that they do for the library is a little outside of the norm.
Yeah.
And it's kind of I don't want to say a favor, but it's a little above and beyond,
But they've been doing it, or Lisa has been doing it for 14 years.
which I appreciate.
Yeah, no, I won't. I'm just curious. Okay, never mind.
And Kirsten also offered to look over any RFPs for us as well. So I was also going to share it with him, because he could also give me feedback on making sure that it's.
It was the bid for the roof, right? What year, do you guys know what year it was?
Not off the top of my head.
I was in the previous 6, right? Because Kirsten was on the board, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, that just got finalized. We just got the final payoff on that. We could look at one of those documents that we have.
I have an,
On that list.
I have an invitation to bid that was put together by TAP
For the roof,
for,
for the, which roof?
um,
For the main roof, correct?
I will forward this to
Yeah.
you. Oh, here's the work scope. Sorry, it was separate. This is actually for the staff kitchen work and the floor slab, but we needed this for the other room that now has a hole in the floor anyways. So I'm gonna send that to you just so that you have an example of what it looks like. Okay. Does anyone else want to be CC'd?
Yeah, just send it to
I'd be
the
Board of Trustees.
FTI. or-
Here's an example of past bid and scope of work docs. Docs from tab. Okay, let's keep going.
Yes.
All right, thank you for doing that. Keeps updated. Because that's really important and I'm nervous about the timing. Can we do it this year? Okay,
Well, that's gonna be up to the bidders, but yes.
okay. I'm getting closer to the roof one, so I'm a little distracted. Okay, other next order of business, printer solution proposal. We know we want to move forward with the leasing option, but we do have some printers. Remember, we're waiting for the funding, and we are looking to talk to McCarthy about that, and that's in Patrick's hands. And so we're waiting to hear back. But in the meantime, we do still have at least one printer that is at its like end of life. So the staff was given approval to go ahead and purchase a color printer. We're getting the exact same one East Greenbush has. Sean took a look, gave a thumbs up. We're good. So that's getting ordered. Okay to keep moving?
This is a self-burn.
No, it's just a regular printer where we can eventually install the self-printing service and lease other equipment and that's needed for that to work. We're just not there until we get the funding for it. So in the meantime, we're like, yeah, go spend $700 on a new printer versus the thousands of dollars that this whole solution was going to be until we know we have a funding solution for it. Which we could fund with the production company money from. All right, let's keep going. HVAC status, they're still working on it. The main concern right now is the noise level, the decibels. Sean monitored, they're above what should be in a public space. And we think that's because one of the fans is not working. And so the other one may be overcompensating. So we need to see what happens when it's been fully balanced, everything's working appropriately. But Train has been in the space working on it a bunch this week, and I'm waiting to hear back. Lindsay might have a better update, but that's what I
I
know.
thought I heard that one of the fans wasn't working properly and they ordered a new one.
Okay, that's probably what she said, and my brain is tired. So
I
we're
have
waiting.
no idea where I heard it.
Yesterday, Lindsay, during finance. Okay, to keep going?
Okay.
All right. Oh, other cooling solutions, by the way.
That's on there. as a separate
later.
New business item, yeah.
Cultural assessment, that's gonna get into the town hall. We haven't touched it. There's been no progress because we need to make the form smaller because the form is enormous and no one will get through it. We still care about it. We want to deliver it to staff, but we need to make it smaller. Didn't you mention that you would take a look?
I thought Lewis was taking a look.
That's who was taking, yes,
I'm
Lewis.
sure that he
He's
offered
not
to-
here right now.
Yes, he did
I
offer
think
to do
you're right
that.
about that.
Yeah, he was gonna do a first run through and do some suggestions.
Yes.
Thank you.
that's
That makes
And it
sense.
could be useful to have the interim directors input.
Exactly, editing down. So let's do that. Again, I'm gonna talk town hall a little bit later. No, my pen's not working. All right, website redesign. Our ad hoc committee met yesterday. Thank you.
Everyone you invited to take part, Kate?
Yeah, everybody.
awesome.
So we've got on the committee, Barry Leibson, treasurer of the Friends of the Troy Public Library, who is also a phenomenal engineer, sysadmin. He talked about the first computer he used had like switches and stuff. I don't even know.
He's a lovely person.
He's great. I was gonna say, what's his name's grandfather? Oh my goodness, why can't I remember his grandson's name? Milo's grandpa. So he's in here all the time with him and very cute. Dan Pfeiffer, also another proud Troy dad, who is a full stack developer and engineer for ProPublica and has worked at marketing agencies. He and I have built websites together. As I helped optimize, he built the website. So I already know what it's like to work with him. I know he's very familiar with WordPress environments. And then all the RPI students came. There's 3 of them, and we basically did a kickoff. Now we have to work on access. They are currently working on gathering all of the jobs to be done. I get to nerd out here. A jobs to be done is different from a persona. A persona is when you think about like who your ideal audience is, and you might build out like 4 to 6, in some cases a dozen if you want to get wild with it, persona for your ideal audience and who's going to use your website, which, you know, you might have a mom, right? You might have a retiree. You might have a student. You start to build personas out and you go, okay, we want to market to them. How are they going to use the site? What are they going to do? And then if you think of advertising, you buy ads based on the sites and the behavior of that person. It gets into a lot of demographic and psychographic information, and it can take a long time to build those personas out. In their research study, they did do persona work. My point to them was, this is okay, and it's good that you have personas in mind, but we have so many people who use this library that we will not capture all the need states of 51,000 people. I would rather see you focus on jobs to be done. And that approach was championed about 15 years ago. And the JTBD approach is that we don't care what kind of persona you have. We're not going to try to stereotype everybody. There's just an action that somebody needs to take. So I'm going to ask you, what are the things that people need to do?
We mean,
Website,
Yep, let's say it's the website.
search for books, look at programs, calendars,
Get a library card,
library.
How to print.
print, how to
information
book
Can be hard
board.
to find.
museum pass,
hours.
how to do interlibrary loan, right? Like, the
Big functionality stuff.
Yeah.
exactly. So I said, personas are great. Throw that out the window, focus on jobs to be done.
Mhm.
Just get me a giant list of everything someone needs to do on our website. And how do we get them there as quickly as possible? That's the most important thing. What do they have to do? How do they get there? What are the points of entry? And then you start to look at your nav and your pages and go out from there. So they're working on gathering all actions that need to be taken on site. We are also working on more competitive analysis work. Tim did a good job of talking to them initially about the companies that mainly run library websites. There's like a handful of them that power most of the libraries. Ironically, a lot of them are a little, most of them are red. And I looked it up, Boston Public Library. Sure enough, the team said a lot of them are red. I looked it up, it's red. I don't know why. We don't have to use those platforms. We're not going to. We're doing a custom build with WordPress. That's what we already have. All right, I'm done talking. We're working on the roadmap. We're going to meet again and put a schedule in place. And Patrick was documenting the action items. I do have to do the minutes from the meeting, and we are going to meet as a working group in between the committee meetings. Any questions or?
My only question was, is there, like the ADA compliance stuff, is that all that
100%.
inside of this?
Yep. Everybody knows we got to do WCAG compliance. We're trying to figure out how we shorten that or say it. WCAG, I don't know. WCAG. So we're looking at,
Then they could take this show on the road to City Hall.
yes, we will be, if they want to. We're excited.
That's cool. Well, my compliments to you for being able to get this together, because
Yeah.
last time we talked about it, we were like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And it's like a full-blown
Yeah.
group. And so that's just exciting.
Thank you. We're excited.
Yeah.
2 months ago, this felt like a distraction.
Yeah, get it off the plate. But it's great, and then we're leveraging some really great people to work with them, so that's awesome.
We are. It did feel like a distraction. Now it feels like exciting, and we will have something. I don't know that we'll have a functional site by the end, but we'll see. They're getting into it. I did have it out a little with UHLS last week about the robots.txt file. I will not nerd out with you guys on that. I'll just say that, no, I think this is important. I do think that UHLS is making governance level decisions that they should not be making for the accessibility of our website. The example, there is the website, which is hosted by UHLS. They host our website. They have servers there and they maintain all of the library sites. That's different because a lot of times you might have your website hosted by Amazon or GoDaddy or Network Solutions. They're there. So I hope there's not a fire at UHLS, and I hope they have a backup plan if there is, okay? It does allow them to monitor everything a little better with security. And what they've put on our site is something called Cloudflare. Cloudflare basically speeds the site up, allows us to put caches, like, do you know what a cache is? It's like a copy of your site. So if there's something that slows it down, a lot of sites use Cloudflare. So when Cloudflare goes down, you'll find like a third of the internet suddenly isn't working. Cloudflare did an update recently because of AI to limit AI's access to websites. And that got rolled out like across all of the UHLS websites. So now ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, suddenly all of the AI agents can't come into the website because they updated that. In addition to that, when they did the update is not keeping up with the changes. And the change most recently is that Google said all of our search is now going to be powered by Gemini. So what is the problem?
Our Google search that built into the website doesn't work anymore.
No, now our website is not getting crawled by Google. So if someone's trying to find the most up-to-date information on our website, we have told Google you can't come into our website and see any content here.
Like meaning to pull it so people can find it quicker,
And what are people doing now with AI? They're asking questions.
but they can't.
What's happening near me? Where's the library? When is it open? What's the phone number? They can't get anything new off of our website in search or in AI because we've blocked them from having access. Now, my concern is why did UHLS make that decision and not talk to us about whether we want to be included? I'm going to give one more example. It's not just AI in search. It is anyone that is using an accessible reader. Who would use an accessible reader to view our website? Someone who is blind. Someone that has, is vision impaired or color blindness or something else. They might be using our website a certain way, and we've now made it impossible for their reader to get in and view our site too. So it's an accessibility issue, and I just think that they are UHLS because most libraries are not smart enough at this level of tech to make these decisions. So I think that they're just applying these changes globally.
Yeah.
But they needed to have asked us.
Yeah.
And we don't have a policy on AI right now. We need one, but we don't have it. We should have one because you've got staff using it. We've got access, et cetera. We should think about vendors and their use of it.
Yes. And compound that with how not user-friendly our website is as is, so it's just kind of a nightmare.
Yeah. So I'll stop talking. These are the kind of things that we're thinking about and we're having as a discussion. I don't think Chris was super happy when I started giving frustrations about the robots.txt file and the disallow versus the index and the control. He's just like, I don't know what that means. Can you just email me? So, all right. Election committee. We have an election committee. We need to get that going and we need to start meeting. When is a reasonable time to have our first meeting? We also need a chair of the election committee. You had taken it over after Carolyn was gone.
I took it over to finish it off.
Okay. I wanted to see if you felt territorial about it and you wanted to.
No, not
own
at
it.
all.
Okay. So I think that that's a good opportunity for us to think about. Does election committee? Yeah. You want to?
Oh, I think like who is on it?
Oh,
Oh, sorry, so you're saying who would like to?
I'd like to know who should be the chair.
Well, let's talk about who can't be.
I know, well, it's not gonna be me.
Evelyn.
No, but
me,
who
and
can't be
Lois.
because they potentially are running.
That's the most important part. If you're running, you can't be
Me,
it.
Evelyn, and Lewis.
So I know you would be a good fit for it.
So I'm willing to, because it's one of these things that pops up and then we just band, so to speak, for a little while. I'm happy to co-chair it.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, because just a reminder, so Sam, you would have to run again, Evelyn would have to run again,
And Lewis.
and Lewis, okay, so that's 3. So yeah, it is just the 4 of
And
us.
that's why I'm like, everyone's got a lot, so I was like, I'm happy to co-chair and tag team it with somebody.
I'm like, but you have so many policies to do.
Well, exactly, but I, as I've indicated in my email,
With you?
I'll have some time.
Are you guys okay to do that? I'm okay with that, I think that's a good solution.
Sure.
Okay, co-chairs, do we need to, we don't have to make a motion.
Go to corners, is that what
Yeah,
you're doing?
Marie and
Come out
Ashley.
fighting?
What?
You want to arm wrestle?
What is she doing?
Oh, you said you were going like this and I'm thinking,
Oh.
is that like go to your
It's
corner?
like a come
Respect the
together.
Corner?
Yeah.
It's like the.
I'm bringing you in, not pushing you away.
Yeah, so, I mean,
I think we need to get going on it. I think we
yeah,
need to get going with the League of Women Voters. I sort of talked to Joan.
I'll
and-
give you
and we
that, you can
settled-
have that.
We settled on
The date.
She said the date of the 22nd was a good, I think it was the 22nd.
It is the 22nd.
And you said the date was good. I think we have a good date
I agree.
for this year. So, but I think they may be waiting to hear from us.
Can you put a meeting on for you, and I don't know if you want to be there or not, but me at least, to do the MOU conversation with them?
Sure. I'd like to, if I can do that, I'd like to be there, yeah.
Yeah, you have strong opinions too, so, based on past experience.
Well, that's why I said she should take the lead, because I've.
All right, let's meet with them, and get that scheduled, and, Lindsay does have a very good list. The staff has a lot of feedback for this too, because some of the things that were said that happened didn't happen. And so we're gonna have some strong opinions from staff on how to improve upon this.
So my only thing with this is, I need it somewhere. Like I realized that like in department meetings, so people are trying, but where is it being captured so that if you need to, so we need to know what the feedback is.
So if you guys can put something together, whether it's a survey or just a doc, and then we circulate it.
Oh, I thought you were saying they already issued feedback,
It was like,
informal.
by the way, that was awful. Let's not do this
Oh, I
next year.
see. Okay.
What the
Yeah.
budget position or something like that? Or?
No, it was the day of the election, how it went down, and what if they were open or not.
The day before we met and it sounded like everything was set to go and then it fell apart on
It
the
did.
election day.
Huh.
And it was
Well, that
awful.
is-
They weren't using the same forms at Lansingburg and here. They weren't getting signatures.
Yeah,
And
people
you're,
showing up
is
late.
that an us thing or a league thing? Or
No, it's not a league thing. That
Oh, it was
was,
an us
yeah.
thing, okay. So yeah, I think we need to pull that checklist from last year and do some of that work. So maybe,
And I don't know if you saw, I did a Excel sheet as a different time.
I think so, yeah.
That we can use too,
Did you put it in the election folder?
probably.
Ooh, Marie.
I would think I did, because I
Okay.
think it's better in the folders where anybody can look it up than to go out in an email. So I try to put my,
So here's my question then, if we're co-chairing it, who else from the board, is anyone else wanting to be there?
By default, I'm on it, so
Right,
you've
but-
got 3 people right there, and the question is, do you want more? I don't think anyone running should be there, and if you don't want to be there, it's fine, it's up to you.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of time between now and September.
No pressure to
If you
me.
need me, but
We have a lot of facility stuff, I'd rather keep you focused.
Yeah, I guess if there's other questions, we can just email you
Yeah.
if we found that we needed your help with something.
although I was on the committee last year and I ran.
Shouldn't have. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, not that we did anything ridiculous, but just, yeah, that
No.
makes sense.
Certainly, I don't think that,
What you know
Chair
better,
should
you
be-
do better, right?
I don't think the chair should be.
Right,
So
Right.
is it a perceptual conflict of interest then?
I would say yes. I think it,
Being
I'm not gonna be on the committee, not gonna be involved,
yeah,
removing myself completely.
Yeah.
It's just easier.
you can still, of course, attend all the meetings,
Right, I can
right?
watch them.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
And
recorded.
you can certainly offer input.
and you're gonna be a part of major votes for like the MOU if we update it and stuff like that too, so.
I'm not concerned.
So then it's the 3 of us. So I just want to make sure there's like an action out of this. So I know we need to get things together. I know you're going to reach out to them, so that we can schedule a meeting. But we need to schedule our meeting to get together. So which order do we want? Do we want to have had that meeting first? Or do we want to have our meeting first? What makes more sense?
I'd like to meet with them first and see if they have any, wait, you're talking about? the-
Yeah, I'm just trying to
League.
figure out timeline.
I would do the league, and then also if you can, well, no, I don't know, you guys can, we could meet and figure out the way to collect feedback from all parties.
Sure.
Because I think that, again, the staff needs to be heard. Like, there are so many times where they have thoughts, opinions, and just no one listens to them. So
Yeah,
this is
no,
just
of course.
one more opportunity to collect that.
And I think too, it's a question about the volume and all that stuff. So like, we had a very large turnout last year, which was good. I'll propose this. I'll send out a doodle between the 3 of us and we can pick a time for us all to get together.
Mhm.
You're gonna reach out to League and then let us know when they have available and then we can try to do both and whichever comes first, comes first. But that way we can get moving. And I'm gonna try to get us together at least before the end of this month.
Thank you.
Okay.
It makes me want to cry, but it's totally fine.
Well, remember, you're,
I'm optional.
well, yeah, I know you're so good about attending all meetings, but truly you don't have to.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a requirement of the president. It's
I know.
even
Thank you.
though you're a member of each of the
But
committees.
also, I just want to say this isn't going to be as hectic. Last year was the year where we put so many things into place. This year is going to be about refining all of this structure that we built. too.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm necessarily optional, like as a president, I don't feel the need to be there, but until we have a director, I feel the need to be there.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna have to coordinate with the staff, so.
Probably for this one, because when we onboard this person, like, they're still gonna be onboarding in some ways while we move through the budget.
Yeah,
And through, I mean, let's just be realistic here.
I'm gonna do a bonding exercise where we run a three-legged race together and like.
That's not fair. I'm so much shorter than everybody else.
You'll be in the middle, they'll carry you.
That's right. My legs will be dangling.
Yeah, probably like a hot ones thing between like the Rock and another place
Trust
like
fall.
that, the Yale House.
You fall on the board, can't you?
How can I pass it up?
All right, oh, we gotta keep you going.
I'm setting a meeting.
It is Evelyn's birthday, let's get her here early.
She's got a big party to go to.
Okay, this is the party.
Some way to repair.
Dumb way to repair, I just got an email while we're sitting here. So we did discuss in finance not hitting our insurance up for something that is probably around $5,000 for a replacement, because that's gonna be a hit to insurance. We don't want that for that, something that's small. But it is very frustrating, and it's the second time it's been broken in a short period of time, although historically it doesn't seem to have been broken as many times. This is kind of just a random occurrence that it happened in such short of a time.
Did we determine how long ago it was since it was last fixed?
I mean, it was last fixed like within the year. And then we just got the invoice and paid that off. And so that's why we know the dollar amount on it.
Right.
But I don't know the time before that. It was definitely further back, way further back. That is bringing up this potential subject of restorative justice approaches for staff, or sorry, for patrons who are young people. So I do have Ian as the community engagement specialist looking into restorative justice practices for libraries. And if you have any recommendations or thoughts, I know schools and universities have done a lot of implementation of that. I don't know how many libraries have, but we have at least 2 incidents that happened recently with young people where it feels like if that person had to come in and face someone and have a conversation and find out the impact, or have to do a little volunteer work, that might be a positive turning point versus being banned or having criminal charges pressed against them. So, yeah, I just wanted to point that out as a potential thing to consider for the patron ban policy, patron banning matrix, and our policy around that. Let's look at some alternative solutions. And it did come from a patron who, when asked when his laptop was stolen a week ago, do you want to press charges? He said, no, I don't want to do that. Not to the kid, but if he's got my laptop, I'd like to have it back. And we're still waiting to hear from him. Okay, that's a little out of the context, but the dumbwaiter was broken by 3 kids. Technically, we think 1, but they were together. Okay, to keep going. New business, cooling solutions. There was a proposal for all of the spaces that are not covered by the HVAC until we do the big expansion. We need a solution, because otherwise we will have to shut the building down, given how incredibly hot certain spaces get, like all of the admin offices, the basement, and the art gallery, as well as like this room. This one's not too bad. The art gallery is awful. The circ room is awful. I can tell you the director's office is pretty rough. So we need cooling solutions. They did put together a plan. We were trying to find government potential contracts or things that would help with discounts. We didn't see anything there that necessarily cut the cost too much. So I did just talk to them and said, get what you need to get, because it's about to be 90 degrees in 2 days. So we need solutions like today. There was from Sean with IT a proposal to get, I think, what's it called, this mini split, like not the individual units, but the things that are a little wide that go at the top. But those get up to like, you're now in the thousands of dollars, not hundreds.
Yeah, 10,000.
Yeah, and I know that's a good potential long-term solution, but we're not looking for a good long-term solution because we're gonna have HVAC in all of these spaces once that project kicks off. We just need something short-term, and even if it's not the most efficient, the librarians who put this together, I think it was Carol and Lindsay, did do a good job of looking at the spaces, identifying the need. His concern is like if you do duct work out of the window in the admin office, which are about this high, it's not as efficient. And they're like, I don't care, we just need something, and it's a small space. So I just said, just go, just order it. You need something and you need it in 2 days. Is that okay? Okay.
What about, are they doing it for Lansingburg as well, or just for?
Yeah, Lansingburg, I think, is included in there for what they needed. I don't remember the exact breakdown of like every space and everything. We did get air conditioning recently there, so I know that Lansingburg is mostly covered, but I think there was like 1 or 2 spots that needed something.
And was just concerned about if we're continuing to use air conditioners that we've used in the past, that they may need to be serviced.
So Lindsay put a call, so what we're doing.
Lori said the ones that Lansingburg had been serviced, I thought, right?
Yes, I
Oh,
think
she
so.
did say that? Well, she didn't say that about last year, though. She said that she remembered that
In the
it had
past.
been
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
past, that she thought it was likely that it hadn't occurred last year.
Oh,
Some
okay.
institutional knowledge got lost in the process. That's the thing. Thank you for reminding me. That's what Lindsay did. She reached out to our handyman, and he is coming to look at maintenance and servicing of the current units, and will also give the final approval of the units that they want to purchase.
Great.
That's, I think, Friday.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, furniture at Main. This is a quick thing. I think I told everybody I'm donating furniture from my office. Okay, we're renting a U-Haul on Saturday. It's gonna start at 2 o'clock. If anybody, you don't have to, all able-bodied folks, and I'm not saying that y'all can't, but we're carrying bookcases down 3 flights of stairs.
Even if I weren't here, I can't do that.
So whoever wants to participate, we do have to, there's a person
How
that,
much stuff is it?
uh,
Wait, where is it going?
coming out of my office
Yeah, no, that part.
into our basement here. Mostly our basement, I think, here.
To be used.
In the, adult services room,
Right.
for sure. The staff lounge area,
Yep.
perhaps some other spaces as
But
well.
it'll mostly stay. Oh,
Yeah, it's all admin
gotcha,
space.
gotcha, sorry. Okay.
Because the desks, it is the worst sound in the world. When you open the drawer in Cindy's desk, it's like, and it's horrific. She doesn't keep anything in there. You can't use it. The desks in like some cases are barely a desk. The furniture is just this hodgepodge assortment of things that is kind of usable, but not really, depending on the purpose.
Is there a way to ask the friends to post something up on Instagram? Like, hey, we're just looking for a couple of people to come volunteer. We'll
Yeah,
give you pizza or something.
so my husband's gonna help. Lorraine's got someone she recommended who's
Okay.
gonna help. We've got, I think Ian's gonna help. So you've got at least 3 able-bodied men and a couple women that are helping.
And
Okay.
volunteers are covered by insurance.
We should be covered by insurance for the facilities, but it's a good question, and we do have the insurance policy, that we can pull. What do you want me to pull on it?
And I just,
Don't want any.
somebody, I mean, it's physical labor.
Yeah.
Generally, people get hurt when they do anything. I get hurt when I do anything physical. If they,
So if they're in the building, then it would be covered by our insurance. If they're in my office at Outspoken, they're gonna be covered by my insurance. If they're in the hallway, they'll be covered by the, yeah, the landlord's insurance, and if they're in the street, I don't
Good
know,
luck.
the city of Troy.
City.
I will say, I got a question from someone asking if we would pay for the staff to do, the Pride Festival or Pride Parade. They have done it for a number of years in the past. They did not get paid for that time, but last year we did, get assigned a spot that was very muddy, and one of our employees slipped and broke their ankle. And so that was even more reason for me to say, no, you're not getting paid, because I mean, that's horrible. It's not because we're trying to avoid coverage, but like, if it's never been paid for in the past, we're not gonna do it again, and that's awful. I'm sorry that happened, but we're not gonna, that's just rough. Like, we can't be out there putting people in the streets and all these places, as like an event that we finance that we don't know what our coverage plan looks like and how far it extends. Does that make sense? Because I don't know where we go with our insurance for travel and events outside of us. I don't have the answer to that.
And I just, something that has been, maybe I should show this for just a general community feedback piece, but it has been asked as to like what events the library prioritizes tabling or being at and things like that. And it's been brought up that there's outside of Boys and Girls Club, there are so many other events, like things that happen in Powers Park and da 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 da. And like, you know, I think there'd be a question as to like, what are the events that you guys prioritize going to? And so just making sure that there's eventually a calendar of those things, so it doesn't appear like we're cherry picking certain things that we like to do versus what the community is asking of us to do, which is this
Right.
and that. And
Which is a great point, because the Pride Parade is also not in Troy.
correct, it's been moved to Waterville or Waterford.
No, I think they're talking about the Albany one.
Oh, so it's not even in our
No.
county.
We
Okay.
were, and what happened was UHLS was like, hey, do you want to be a part of this, Troy?
Oh,
And
I thought we meant like the
No.
Megan's.
No.
Okay.
that's even
Because
more,
again, that's right over the bridge, they're not doing it here. so-
exactly, and if they'd done it here, that'd make more sense, so.
That's what I thought we were talking about, I'm sorry.
No, they do, also I just want to give you guys, summer reading is kicking off, for adult and YPS. There is a microsite going out and getting built, by
Oh.
Patrick. We've done microsites on Google in the past, that does complicate our web projects. We've got a whole bunch of random Google sites out there. But they are doing a dinosaur parade, and I will be in an inflatable costume. I've volunteered my husband for that. If anyone else wants to be an inflatable dinosaur, let me know. We will be
I don't think they
walking,
can pants for a dinosaur.
I mean, you could be a small one. Those little like frill ones. We will be walking around the farmer's market to promote it.
That's cute.
Yeah, so it's a dino parade at the market.
So this week,
When is this weekend?
That is, no, does someone have the library calendar that you can look up? I know. I'm like, oh no. I do have it on my calendar. I can find it. We also are having Big Truck Day.
Yes.
And we reached out to, Kaylee's coordinating all that, doing a great job. She's also, I think, the one coordinating the Dino Parade. I might be wrong. No, Dino Parade is, the 27th of June.
Okay.
Ben will like the Dino Parade if you want.
Yeah, he's in the midst of full identification of dinosaurs right now.
Perfect.
So,
Okay.
not my speed.
Furniture at Maine, June 27th.
June 27th, you said?
Okay. We are gonna have more of like a lounge space for the team. So I just want to point that it's like a perk that I think is a good thing. We're bringing them a couch, we're bringing them a second table because there's only one table that allows 4 people to sit at it. So if you decide to have like a staff recognition thing, not everybody can be in the same space. There's no space for that. So hopefully there will be more chairs, more spaces, more comfort, and I just keep thinking it is a perk. Is it, a huge pay increase or benefits? No, but it's something that helps. So we'll see. Oh, the desks they're getting are standing desks, by the way, so they can go up or down and dry erase. So some people like that, but we do need more storage solutions because they don't have drawers, and these are librarians and they have a lot of stuff. Scheduling a town hall. Next order of business, we, in my mind, need a town hall soon. The former director had been wanting to do them every quarter. I know other libraries maybe do them annually. We're kind of in this crisis change state with a lot of turnover and other changes. I would love to schedule something where we introduce the director at the town hall, but the main thing for the town hall is the amount of training that has to happen. We need to do manager training. We need to do staff-wide conduct training. We need to do Narcan training for all the recent hires or anyone that didn't get it last time.
Do you need me to reach out to?
Nope, we've got it. We've got a contact at the county, and Lindsay's already doing it to get additional kits and schedule. So there's just a lot that has to happen. The manager training is again like a 4 to 5 hour long session that our attorney provided on not just being a manager, but being a manager in a union environment. That's a huge lift if we tried to do all of that in one day. So we are trying to think about maybe we do a series of them, or I had in my head thought, could we do them like an hour before the department head meeting and like space it out so that every week we're doing a training for 1 to 2 months.
Yeah,
Because they need it.
I think the cadence work, it could work really well
Yeah.
and keep it rolling so that if there are questions in between, they can keep going versus a one shot. Cause I think like if someone's trained to death on a number of things, when they do that, I get more out of it than a one and done, and then I don't talk about it for a year.
Okay. The staff has suggested that that the management team needs communications training.
Seems
I would argue that everybody needs communications training.
same.
And that's persistent in life, but I also want to give them leadership training. And I do have a deck that I've already done with that to Albany Med. Their urology department had me come and do that. So it's a good deck. I trust it. I feel good about it. The main thing that I rooted in is psychological safety on a team. And that if you're going to have a team that's productive and high efficiency, we already know from all the past studies on this, you need psychological safety and trust. You need reliability. You're going to do what you say. There's a lot of consistency issues happening across management right now, and we got to get everybody on the same page, or just the departments function differently. We need one culture, one team. I'm not saying one Troy. I know we run Troy. Okay, other training. I also wanted to do a training on reputation, the one that I did for the board that one time, but I wanted to do that with them ahead of this budget season so that Patrick hears it, especially going into planning for communications. Did you guys find that to be beneficial, and should I do that with them?
I was zooming in that time you did it because when I wasn't on the board, and I thought it was an excellent program, period.
Is it recorded?
I don't know.
Well, was it a board meeting? It was a board meeting, wasn't it? Or was it a committee meeting?
Oh,
Was it
I don't know.
recorded?
I think it might have been a committee at the end.
Okay, I thought a committee meeting.
I have no memory of which one.
Okay, I can go back and think, but,
Okay. I'll probably do that for them if it's
Because I
helpful.
don't remember it.
it was good.
And I'll do it for all of you. No, we don't have to, but I think that what people are missing is that our reputation is driven by the interactions that we have with each other and then with patrons especially, right? And that needs to be, you can have a reputation that is exactly what people expect. You can have it be a little less, which starts to cause problems, or it can be a little more, which delights and causes people to just fall in love with you. And we have to get better. And I'm not suggesting we be like a major customer service kind of thing, but we have to get better at knowing how to exceed people's expectations, not just meet them, or worse, not meet them at all, right? I think a lot of patrons right now have unmet expectations, and a lot of staff have unmet expectations. And so that just makes everything feel toxic, slow, hard. We got to start exceeding expectations.
Well, part of that is also an evaluation of what those expectations are.
Yeah, and it has to
Need
go
be
in,
fair to us.
it has to go in all directions too.
Yeah,
So
two-way street.
exactly. All right, I think I'm done. Does anyone have any other new business? Okay. Do we have any community feedback?
Yes.
Go for it.
Um,
Does it meet or exceed expectations, or is it unmet?
Make it good. I'm kidding.
Somebody had an opportunity to talk to me for a while. So,
Great. Is it
Agree.
gonna be that our board meeting minutes are not posted and our agendas on time? Because I hear
Yeah.
that and I feel
Yeah.
that.
Well, I hear that
will
our
be-
board agenda,
they-
I mean,
they
minutes
will
are
be-
not posted on
Oh, well, you're pissed.
that.
There will be a familiar refrain,
Okay.
but one, that the person felt the atrium would have been a good community center like they have in the Midwest. In Schenectady and
Sorry, what does that have to do with the library?
that the atrium would have been a good library and in the way of a community center, that the person is familiar with libraries being community centers in the Midwest. And the atrium, when it had the garage, would have been a good place to have the library.
Oh, I agree. It'd been huge. We wouldn't have had enough books.
They have the indoor farmer's room?
Yeah.
The state of that building is disgusting.
It is.
It's falling
Well,
apart. That's
and
why
it
we
no
never-
longer has a garage.
Yeah.
But at one point, it was discussed as a place to have the
Got
library.
it.
We listen, we don't judge.
No, I'm not judging, I just,
The city owns part of it. I'll say that.
Yeah.
They call that
Family rooms. Yeah, the person would also like to see family rooms.
Is that bathroom or just like program? Yeah.
I
Program?
think it was more program rooms.
Okay.
Yeah, or meeting rooms.
I did give feedback to YPS today to potentially reach out to La Leche League and also another around doing more programming, because if we're going to do the birth kits, East Greenbush does allow La Leche League to do like meetings in the space. And I said, if we did that with YWCA or other things, I know for me that changed my whole journey as a mother, but we are looking at, the whole point was, can we do more outreach to family oriented groups?
Well,
And
they're already partnering with Burdette. It's right there. Jayana goes all the way to Albany Public Library, but she lives here in Troy. I'm not saying it needs to be her, but she does that sort of work, and there are several others to do.
Okay.
And so I agree, but that goes in line with the fact that
Is there a space?
there's a space thing, but there's also the programming thing, and there is next to no 0 to 3 programming, but it is a priority at some of our other libraries, but it is a serious need, because 0 to 3 is the time children are home the most.
Yeah. All right, sorry, keep going. We're just nerding out.
Benefit by being rented.
Mhm.
The person would like to not have to call to make sure the library's open.
How would they know that though? Is it just because they've had so many closures, or is
And I
it?
think that, yeah,
Okay.
having to check all the time to make sure the library isn't closed when
Yeah, that's
they
fair.
would ordinarily be.
That's fair.
Would like to see a library bookstore. And would like to have a library Comic-Con as occurs in Albany and Schenectady. That's it.
Library?
Mhm.
Like, Comic-Con at the library.
I know Schenectady does. I didn't realize that Albany has one too.
That's
The
what this
Comic-Con?
person said.
I
mean,
think
that's
the signage
okay.
for the Schenectady.
So that's
Were
it.
these comments all coming from the same person?
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
We do have a little bookstore, little one, at Lansingburg, just so they know. It's donations, but that does exist there. We don't have one here. Were they talking about Maine?
Well, we'd expect to have one here, though. But no, I think that they might have actually been talking about a bookstore.
Yeah,
Like more of a proper bookstore.
Run by the library?
It is something that does exist. I don't know. I was at Boston Public over the weekend, which was not good because it was like, wow, look at all this beautiful stuff in this beautiful, well-funded, huge metro library. I should feel like I shouldn't go to any library that's larger than us.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't go looking at their endowment.
No. But I did take a picture of everyone who donated to the renovation from this year to that year to see if we could reach out to them. I feel like we should do that everywhere. But they had some really good materials, and I started sharing that with department heads, even just around marketing and branding. I already showed you guys?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I did share some of that with Patrick and others too. Sorry, keep going.
That's
But-
it. No, I'm clear.
Any other community comment? Feedback? Okay, do we have any public comment? We do not have public. The date of the next meeting is July 14th at 5:30 PM. I should be back in town then, but I will not be here for the 2 weeks prior. So if we do meetings and things, I would have to do them virtually, and I just want to make sure that it counts towards your quorum. So as long as you and Marie can attend, that's what matters most in scheduling the election committee. And we've already kind of coordinated on personnel. Okay, does anyone have anything else? Are we okay to adjourn? All right, happy birthday, Evelyn. Yay! I would like to make a motion to adjourn at 8:47 PM. Do I have a second? Ashley, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys. Let's stop this.
I was just trying to get on Doodle, and it's like basically not free anymore. Doodle? Yeah, has anyone noticed that?
No.
Yeah.
Doodle lately.
It was like you're all out of your one time to doodle something.
Oh, no.
So I'll figure out.